Jaron's done a good job, though, I think, of it. He's built some interesting systems that you were able to, parts of your business that you've, somewhat removed from entirely,
Some
right?
things, not nearly, yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, some of the stuff I have been able to, and more, I'm able to remove myself from certain things, but all you have to just keep focused on it has to be conscious to keep firing myself. What can I fire myself from? What tasks am I doing right now that I shouldn't have to do? But circling back to one of the things that's helped, maybe not so much support me personally, individually, but help support the team and to help lower our costs is having those virtual assistants. Like we have I think 7 or 8 of them in the Philippines. They obviously different countries you can have them in, but they've been really helpful. And I'd say probably we've only had maybe 2 of the hires that didn't work out. Pretty quickly we realized that they weren't a good fit, but most of them are great. And for the money, it's really helps our U.S. team that we have here. Yeah.
I've gone through a lot of assistants. I have a team of 5 offshore assistants, but they do high-level tasks for us. Like they are almost as good as my transaction coordinators onshore.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
So we use them for
Great.
2 sets. One is for the back office, inputting leases,
Sure.
data entry.
Is easy, yeah.
Yeah, well, in property management, it can cause a huge problem.
Totally.
I just mean
So you
that
have to trust
that data
holding
entry
deposit
is
versus security deposit makes
true.
a big difference.
They have to be accurate.
And that happened. But then the other side, and those are top level, right? College educated, I'd rather pay for quality.
What do you pay?
So per person, it's like $1,700 a month.
Okay. Do you go through a service?
Yeah.
What service?
It's Staff Boom.
Staff Boom. Okay.
Yeah. I got them from our insurance division. They were doing all the policies, all the quoting, everything. But I also have a group that handles our vacation rentals and specifically the communication side, because I'm neurotic and I have a metric that I monitor that they have to respond to inquiries or issues in under 5 minutes.
Same.
And I watch that, okay? Because the difference between someone asking a question and not getting an answer in under 5 minutes and getting one could be booking or not, right? And so the problem that I had was and again, this is my insanity, I was monitoring all the communications.
And I do the same, right. Yeah.
And the communication wasn't really, that we've had hits and misses.
Wasn't at your standard.
That's right. It wasn't even English sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And, so we learned and we changed and we adapted because, as you know, in researching that, there are really like 4 levels of people that you can get. And for me, I always think about the cost today versus the cost tomorrow, meaning I could pay for the good quality now and not have to deal with the other stuff that's going to come tomorrow. And then I got to look at what my time is dealing with the stuff that comes tomorrow, right? And so I'd always rather get, and I look at the same thing in whether it's like clothing or anything, right? I see my wife goes and buys 13 shirts at Old Navy, and they're good for a month, right? They're only $7. Like, go buy a $70 shirt from a quality place that's going to last you 5 years, yeah? So it's that mindset that I approach that stuff in business too. I'd rather buy it once and do the right people.
We learned that lesson. We started at the $4 an hour range and we walked it up. Our best people are like $10.50 an hour, which is basically what you're paying.
Right. It's pretty standardized.
And we were going through a staffing organization like you described. We actually removed ourselves from that and we developed our own in-house models on how to do this. And so we hire direct through different job boards now. And so we've gone down the rabbit hole on that because we have found that if you're paying a staffing agency, I don't know, $11 an hour or whatever that is, the actual person's probably getting 7-ish. They're maybe getting other health benefits and stuff like that, but we're able to pay them a little bit more to them directly, their pocket. And so hopefully we acquire a better person is the thought.
And longer retention.
And longer retention.
Sure.
And so we've had some for a long time. They're like family. They're on the squad. that's been huge. I mean, we know the parts of the country in the Philippines that, you know, that maybe don't have great power or great internet, or storms that are more common in certain areas, like that type of like level of detail
You gotta
that we're
love
in.
the chickens clucking. You
Right.
remember that?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
great.
God, that
And then there's like
Kills me.
standards and requirements, like 2 screens. You have to have backup power. You have to have an extra computer, so when your computer inevitably breaks, you're still able to jump on. All of that stuff. And then the procedures on how to train these individuals, video training procedures. Like we've gone through and made a whole operations manual. It still needs love, still a work in progress.
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Let's create a staffing agency.
Yeah,
over
you
here.
should probably
actually-
just. It's moving to South America now, right?
Right.
So you probably go hire people and run a staffing.
So what we found too is, and we haven't executed on this though, but different countries within Latin America are maybe even better naturally English speakers. In some cases, like Belize and other countries, we found that could be even more effective. So we're kind of moving around doing some experiments with that as well, because we still
But it
need more
does
people.
touch on the idea that, you know, to do more, you need to find ways to get the help and not break the bank.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So there are options out there, and always being open to new ideas and concepts is what will help you change and grow.
For every 3.5 assistants abroad, I could hire 1 onshore person that may do a little bit better than my team once they're trained up.
Yeah.
So it's like
It's been our experience too.
it's
So we
good.
have kind of like our American staffer, like our client manager on our litigation eviction side will be an American person. And the model that we're creating is, we started with the offshore assistants that were doing most of the data entry, the intaking of new forms, things like that. But now we're training up, it's our first experiment to train 1 up to be essentially more or less a client manager. We probably will still have an American client manager who will be like the senior client manager, who anytime someone's calling and needs to speak to someone will call the American client manager. They will be copied on all the emails, but at least the email correspondence, the checking of dockets, the making sure the case, the updates, email updates, all that, I think we can do that. So 90% of the job can be done by an offshore assistant. That's our theory. That's the next level we're moving to. So
it's doable. Like I'm telling you, my VAs are like, they know real estate contracts better than most realtors.
great.
Abroad. Like that's 100% the case. It is absolutely doable. They're more than capable of doing almost everything. It's just sometimes an accent thing, right? That's it.
The only thing, and I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but we've just seen where our assistants tend to have very good English, but it's a cultural thing. There's something I don't know how to exactly explain it, but it's how it's put together sometimes. And explained, and like maybe they're not completely understanding how the American client is asking for something, and so that's why I want to have, at least for the time being, have an American client manager being
That's how
kind
I
of in
have
the
it.
middle there.
I have somebody up top that like kind of oversees everything, catches things, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to the channel.